we got to talk about these 3-0 teams. There are a few 3-0 teams out here, and somebody got to take an L. Maybe they all win. I don't know. Maybe they all win. But we're going to talk about which 3-0 team are more likely to take an L. And real quick, just to give y'all the 3-0 teams, we have the Kansas City Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills, the Seattle Seahawks, and hold on, I'm missing one more. Seattle Seahawks
And the Vikings.
and the Vikings, Minnesota Vikings, surprisingly, led by Sam Darnold. Would have been y'all, but both picks.
Yeah,
But Trent, which which 3-0 team are more likely to take their first L this Sunday?
yeah. This Sunday, I think the Green Bay Packers are gonna beat the Minnesota Vikings. I think with Jordan Love coming back healthy, I do think the Packers are the better team in that division. Monday night, the Lions do host the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks, that's probably the other susceptible team to not being 3-0 anymore. But Mike McDonald's done a great job. I think he's going to be the first coach to potentially go 4-0 since 2009. And if you remember back to that Baltimore game last year, the Ravens handled Detroit pretty well. So I think McDonald is a good coach. I like what they got going on in Seattle. So I like them against the Lions. And back to the Packers with Jordan Love being healthy, I just think that's a better matchup. I think the NFC North is the Packers division to lose. The Lions are obviously the representative from last year, but I just love what Jordan Love has to offer. And that Packers team is so young. Every time they play, they're getting better. They're learning together. Great wide receiver core in Reed, Wicks, Watson. So as long as they can play defense, which they've gotten better over the last few years, I think that they're a better team than Minnesota when healthy.
All right. So if you had an eye on one team, it's the Packers beating the Vikings.
Yeah, that would be mine because I believe the Steelers play the Colts.
Yes. The Steelers. Sorry, Javon. Steelers.
Yeah, the Steelers play the Colts, so I don't see the Steelers losing that game. I believe Kansas City's playing the Chargers, if I'm correct.
Yeah, they are.
So I like Kansas City in that game. And then the last 3-0 team would be, I'm forgetting whoever I'm forgetting. I looked at the matchups, but I think the two matchups. But
yeah. So we got Vikings in Green Bay, Steelers in Indianapolis. We have the Chiefs in LA, the Bills in Baltimore, and then the Seahawks in Detroit.
Yeah, so the Bills in Baltimore was the other one that I could see coin flip between the Ravens. I know we got a lot of Ravens fans in the chat. Carl, I see Carl down there typing. So I just think Buffalo's playing great football right now. Josh Allen, potential MVP front runner if we're giving out those awards this early. Yeah. And it seems like they're having a lot of fun and scoring a lot of points while doing it.
Yeah, so and then I know Carl mentioned, he said who's starting for Minnesota, and because Sam Darnold is dealing with an injury, so he is, I think he's questionable for this week, so he might not even start. But I'm leaning towards you. I think there are 3 teams that could potentially lose their first game this week. I know that you didn't. I think you kind of on 2. I do think the Steelers will handle business against Anthony Richardson. We're talking about the number 1 defense in the NFL. And Anthony Richardson, he is probably the most inconsistent quarterback in the NFL. I mean, like, it's times when I'm watching, I'm like, whoa, that was a throw. And then another time, I'm like, what kind of throw is that? So, and his decision making, like sometimes, I remember he threw that interception last week in the end zone. That was crazy. So, I think the Steelers can handle business, but I wouldn't be surprised if they win, but I think Steelers will handle business. And then you go to the Chiefs. I mean, are we really going to pick against the Chiefs? Justin Herbert is dealing with an injury right now. One of the players, the Chargers, the Chiefs have a hard time with the Chargers is Derwin James. He's suspended for a game. He's not playing. So that's a big loss for them right there. So I got to go with the Chiefs. But normally the Chiefs and Chargers, they battle. It's a battle almost every time they play. You got Jim Harbaugh there now, bringing a new coach. Their defense is actually playing well, So surprisingly, and for Justin Herbert, so I'm going with the Chiefs now. Bills against the Ravens. Ravens at home. I do see the Ravens winning. I actually picked the Ravens to win, so I'm going to go with that. Seahawks and Lions. Now look, Seahawks. Bo Nix, Jacoby Brissett, Skylar Thompson. Now they got to play a high-powered Detroit Lions offense in Detroit on Monday night. So this is a biggest test for McDonald. Now, like you said, they beat the Ravens The Ravens beat them last year 38-6. So McDonald had Detroit's number last year, but that was when Detroit was in that bad stretch. They lost to Chicago, I think, also, and they lost to the Ravens. They went through a bad stretch last year. But if I had to pick any of the teams, I'm going with the Seahawks losing. I got them losing. And then when I go to the Green Bay Packers and the Vikings defense is awesome. They made CJ Stroud look ordinary. They made Brock Purdy look ordinary, and they made Daniel Jones look like Daniel Jones. But when you see Malik Willis, I don't know how he would respond with that Vikings defense. And one thing that Brock Purdy said, he told Brian Flores, man, you got a crazy scheme. You got a crazy scheme. You see how some of the Packers they put out there, some defenses, they look like they're gonna do one thing, then it turns to something else, just like that. So I don't know how that would work with Malik Willis, but Jordan Love is back. I think he's questionable though. Is he starting?
He's questionable, so I think everything I was seeing say he's going to play, but we'll see.
Yeah, because I know last
That's
week he
the
was
reason
questionable
I was
too.
going with the Packers.
Yeah, if Jordan Love's playing, that's still tough though, man. The Vikings playing well, but Vikings gotta get hit off their high horse eventually, and Sam Darnold is questionable. So yeah, I am picking the Packers to win though. I think the Packers will win. I think the Bills will lose to the I think the Packers will win, the Ravens will win, and I think that the Lions will win and the Seahawks will lose. But if I had to pick one, I'm going with the Seahawks to lose.
No, I agree. That's a good pick. I think the Lions are one of those teams that are, obviously I got to watch them play against Tampa week 2. Tampa clearly did not have a good week 3. So I think maybe vicariously through Tampa, I have my reservations with the Lions this season. I think last year was kind of that, honeymoon team where this is the Lions, this is the playoff droughts, the get into the championship game. So I think the Lions are definitely highly talented. I'm just interested to see with how well the Vikings are playing, how well the Packers could potentially be playing when Jordan Love is healthy. I just don't think that it's going to be a walk in the park for for the Lions to beat other teams this year. So we'll see though. I'm definitely have my reservations on Detroit this year.
I think they play well against the Cardinals. They play better against the Cardinals. Play the offense kind of click more against them. But we're gonna get to y'all. Speaking of the Buccaneers,